Hello there, this is Karthik Madugula, aka Karma, the life coach, and we are here today to talk about a very important topic called self doubt. Now, why should we even talk this topic? How important is it? Let me share a statistic with you. It is estimated that globally, over 85% people go through a self doubt crisis. Can you imagine how much of a bigger problem this is? It is probably beating cancer, coronavirus, and all these other things to pulp because it is such a big pandemic. So let's today discuss then about what is self doubt. How can self doubt destroy a person? Did other people go through self doubt? What are some of the famous personalities who went through self doubt? What are the top three reasons why self doubt takes over a person? What are the signs that you are going through self doubt? Why confidence is not a solution? Then, what is the secret weapon to destroy self doubt? Overcoming self doubt and the hard journey that it takes. When your friend or loved ones are in self doubt, what can you do about it? And a lot more. And on top of that, finally, the summary, which is the overall picture on how to overcome self doubt. So, without wasting a lot of time, let's get started. So, the first question we want to answer is, what is self doubt? So, simply put, self doubt is doubt on self. That's what it is. When you doubt yourself, whether it is your abilities, capacities, your strength, or others' perception of you, or anything of that sort, when you doubt any of these things, and as a result, you are unable to feel good about yourself, you're unable to do the things that you're supposed to do, you're unable to take the actions that you promised you will take, and you're unable to move forward in life. If you're going through any of these situations because of a doubt on your own self, that situation, my friend, is called self doubt. So, how can self doubt destroy a person? Let's take this for a context. If you are going through self doubt, this thing can totally occupy you from top to bottom. You will not be able to do the things that you love. You do not want to go out and meet friends. You do not want to make new connections. You do not want to try new projects. You do not want to learn new things because you feel that it won't matter and that you cannot do a good job or that whatever you do won't matter at all. So, as a result, what self doubt does to a person is it boxes them in a shell and takes them far away from the world into isolation and loneliness. And as a result, a person ends up getting lost. Now, this is what can finally happen with something like self doubt. Now, for someone who does not let it go to that level, what still can happen on a day to day basis is constantly there is a battle inside the head which is building up the pressure that they cannot do it. Let us say you are on a stage wanting to give a speech and self doubt is eating you up. Now, you prepared for this speech thoroughly. You've written your script, you went through it multiple times, but you are on the stage with that self doubt. You can even forget what you have rehearsed 10,000 times. So, self doubt can bring such performance pressure that you even stop performing what you're actually good at. Now, if I don't perform at what I'm not good at, probably that's not the problem of life. If something makes me underperform at what I'm already good at or what I've really thoroughly prepared for, now that seems like a big villain to me. And that's what self doubt is. So, self doubt can absolutely destroy a person by making them a complete victim in that pressure and making them lose grip of things that they're even good at. So let's look at whether self doubt happens to only one person or to few people, or whether famous people go through self doubt or not. And I also, as I already said, 85% people world over have the self doubt crisis going on at any moment in their life. So if we have to take some celebrity's name, Ayushman Khurrana went through a lot of self doubt in the days of his rise. He was working like a horse. He was a TV anchor. He was a VJ. He was, whatever, a couple of other things and roles that he has done. But there was a lot of self doubt in that process because he didn't have a great background. He didn't have any support. He didn't have all these other things that most people get. And we think that the people that get those things will not have self doubt. That's another case altogether. Even the so called star kids go through a lot of self doubt because now they will be held up to a really high standard that their previous generation has created, and they constantly question themselves whether they can match up. And the biggest example for that is Sanjay Dutt. So take someone who's an underdog who wants to come up, and take someone who's already in a very great position, who's still comparing himself to the previous laurels or their previous generation's great work. So no one is exempt from self doubt. Whether you're a very rich person with lots of privileges, or whether you are just coming up in life and you're going through those struggles, anybody and everybody can go through self doubt. So what are the top 3 reasons why self doubt can take over a person? The top one reason, the first one in this list, is evidence of failure. So let us say you're trying something, and then in most cases, before something works out, it will fail a number of times. So now the number of failures become your evidence of failure. And the more hurt you get by this evidence of failure, the more self-doubt that starts developing inside you. So the more number of times you fail, if you don't process this failure properly, the more self-doubt will develop inside you. So evidence of failure, as I said, is one of the top reasons why self-doubt develops. Now, what happens after that for a person? So there is a huge evidence of failure. Now they do not want to try the next time, or they start thinking, what's the point anyway? Or they'll have that massive performance pressure. Let us say they want an investment and they've failed so many times. This time they're unable to ask for that investment. Let us say they want to take an exam. They failed so many times. Now they don't even want to attempt, or they are even thinking whether they should even prepare for that exam. Right? So much of evidence of failure can lead to a person not wanting to try at all. So that's the top one reason. Now, number 2 is comparison. So we do this all the time, right? We compare ourselves to other people. What they have, what I don't have. They are good, I'm not good enough. They are cool, I'm not cool enough. Okay, and that comparison extends to every possible area, from looks to dress to earning to living standards to everything. So what we are doing in most cases is we look at these people's Instagram profiles. And what does anyone post in these Instagram profiles? They are posting the highlight reels of their life. They're not telling you when they're sad. They're not telling you when they cried in their Ferrari. They're not telling you the things that are not working out for them. They're only telling the things that are working out for them after number of times of it not working out. So you see their highlight reel, and we then start comparing ourselves, thinking that their life is better, my life is not as good because I am not going through a great time right now because things are not working out for me. Let me tell you one thing, my friend. Even this person posting that mega success reel or whatever it is has gone through a number of failures before he was able to succeed and then post about it and talk about it. And also, one thing we have to acknowledge here is we all have different backgrounds, different exposures, different privileges, different journeys, and so many things that are different for each other. Maybe you have faster access to some resources that I don't have, and maybe I have faster access to some resources than you have. And in that case, if I have faster access, I will be more successful faster than you because I have access to better resources. And if I'm then also utilizing my intelligence, even if we are same intelligent, but because I have better access to resources, I will be faster success than you are. That does not mean you are lesser than me. That just means I had a better privilege than you. So, how can you compare and say that you are lesser than me? It's just stupid to do so. The reason why we should not compare to anybody is because we are all going through different journeys. So, if we compare to any person out there who's going through a different journey, we have to acknowledge that this person is unequal to me. Unequal does not mean superior or inferior, it's just unequal. So, it's like, as they say, right? Apple and orange. How can you compare these two and say that this is better than this? That's a stupid comparison. So each different person on this planet is a different fruit, like that. So compare one fruit to any other fruit, that comparison is idiotic because it's comparison between two people that have unequal journeys. So comparison thus with anybody else does not make sense because all of it is faulty comparison on surface without taking care of the context behind each person's journey. So in the context we are unequal. So how can we then just compare on the surface? It's just meaningless. So comparison, as I said, is the number two reason, and this is how you can get rid of comparison in life. Now, number three is criticism. You will meet a lot of people in your life that are very critical. They do have negative feedback all the time, and yes, it's not a problem to give negative feedback, but how we are giving that feedback is very important. So let us say if a person is not doing well, we should tell them that they're not doing well with respect to their duty or whatever it is. But can we deliver that with some respect? Can we deliver that message with some grace and some cushion to that person, so that they take on this feedback productively and work on that, rather than feel bad and come down in life? So that's a choice we all have, right? So criticism is one of the other reasons why self-doubt can take over a person. If you have been subjected to excessive criticism from anyone in your life, whether it be your parents or your neighbors or your friends or cousins, or whether it's your teachers that you have been in association for a long time with, so if you have been subjected to a lot of criticism, now it becomes too hard for you to believe in yourself. Okay. So, unfortunately, if you have been through this, what I can tell you is that all of that criticism that these people have done upon you was their opinion based on one particular failure. So, the problem is, I have criticized you for something, but now you globalize it and think that overall you're bad. So, someone who's positively criticizing, for example, will localize the criticism. But if you don't process it well, you will globalize the criticism and think that you're not just bad at that thing, you're bad at everything, right? Or you're not good enough at everything. And that's a lie. And even if someone is globalizing an insult on you, that you're not good for anything, you're good for nothing, please understand that the fact in that is just that you were not good at whatever that one thing that they expected out of you, but it does not mean that you're good for nothing. So, when you underperform at something, you have to please localize that criticism, because we can't control other people. They can make a global insult on us, but it is on us to localize that insult and clearly understand that at this one thing I suck probably, and they are unhappy with it, and as a result they are making that comment. So I can make an effort to improve myself in this area, but I need not globalize that opinion and think that I'm good for nothing. So you have to learn the art of taking criticism properly by localizing it rather than globalizing it. Okay. So these are the top three reasons why self doubt can take over a person in its entirety. So what are the signs that you're going through self doubt? The signs that you're going through self doubt is very simple actually. You do not want to attempt new things, you do not feel good about yourself, you do not want to meet people that much, or if anyone, especially if anyone more successful, like some people are doing very well in their life, but even then they could be going through self doubt. And the best sign that can reveal that is that you don't want to meet someone who's superior to you. The moment you see them, you feel inferior. So either you don't want to meet them, or when you're around them, you feel bad about yourself. You may be as much top in the ladder as possible, but you still, when you see that superior person, you still feel inferior. So any sort of inferiority complex, any sort of not wanting to take action, any sort of not wanting to meet people, any sort of not wanting to try new things, all of these things constitute the signs that you are going through a self doubt or a self esteem crisis. And you really have to do something about changing that. I personally myself suffered a lot because of self doubt. In fact, one of the major reasons for my depression that I went through for a decade is actually self doubt. There was a constant feeling of I'm not good enough. It was almost like I'm just a bunch of carbon molecules put together for no reason. That is how I used to feel about myself. And if one feels about oneself like that, terrible is the only feeling that will occupy them all the time. And then there is a constant low, and there is no hope of coming up from there. So I'm myself a big sufferer of self doubt. But now it's a very different story. I'm helping other people overcome self doubt. That's a long story. We will talk about that in another video. So now we've talked so much about self doubt. Now we also should talk about what is the solution for the self doubt. And a lot of people immediately jump at the answer called confidence. Okay, no, confidence is not a solution for self doubt. Why? The reason why is because, confidence is like a wave. When something works, you're confident. When it does not work, you don't feel confident. This is how it happens. So it is an oscillating thing. So if you anchor yourself on confidence, you will always go through a wave, because not every time things will work out for you. And as a result, confidence is not the best solution for self doubt, because it will still keep oscillating. For some people, they are able to bank on the evidence of the past where they succeeded, and they are able to continue that streak of confidence for a while more, even though they are going through those failures. But how long will it last is also a question. So if your failures outlast your successes, then after the threshold is reached, you will then descend into self doubt, right? So that's why confidence is not a good solution. So, what then is the secret weapon to destroy self doubt? Let's understand it. Commitment rather than confidence is the best solution to destroy self doubt. So, if you're committed to something, what is commitment as an energy? Commitment as an energy is saying that whether I'm good or not, whether I know or not, whether I can grasp or not, whether other people approve me or not, whether I think I'm good enough or I think I'm not good enough, whatever the case be, or whether I'm even succeeding or failing, commitment says I'll show up still. That's the energy of commitment. So when you commit to something, you do not need confidence, because you will anyway come to do something about it, right? So that's why commitment is a better solution to self doubt than confidence is. So, because of this commitment, what will happen? You will get to action, you will try, and over a period of time, some or the other thing will work in your favor, and your opinion about yourself will start changing. And mark those words that I said, it's an opinion about yourself. So, when it comes to opinions about self, what we have to understand is, if you say I can, that's also a lie. If you say I can't, that's also a lie. Let us say you tell yourself every day I can. I can quickly come in and disprove that for you. I'll just give you a Rubik's cube and ask you to solve it in 2 minutes, and probably if you're not an expert, you'll fail. And then quickly we'll establish that you can't. Now let us say you feel that I can't. I'll give you some simple activity and put that in your hand, and you will easily be able to accomplish, and we will be able to establish that you can. So whether you say I can or whether you say I can't, both are lies because they have range of application. They're not universally applicable, they're locally applicable. So instead of I can and I can't, or I'm confident or I'm underconfident, the better space to work from is I'm committed. And based on the strength of that commitment, I will show up every day, and I will not make it about an opinion I have on myself, because any of these opinions are temporary any which way. Self doubt is an opinion, right? Okay. Any opinion is temporary. That's the good thing. So, a temporary opinion, if we globalize it, we will feel that way all through, even at the things that we are good at. And if this opinion is stopping us from doing what we are supposed to do, the action, our only purpose here is action. So if we are unable to do what we are supposed to do because of this opinion, which is temporary and localized, which we have globalized, then we are hurting ourselves in a big way. So please cast away these opinions that you have on yourself, because any of these opinions are lies. Whether you say I can is a lie, whether you say I can't is also a lie, because they are not universally applicable. So as a result, the best thing for you to do is to work from that energy of commitment rather than confidence. Now, in terms of overcoming this self doubt, if you're already mired in it deep, it's going to be a bit of a very hard journey. But you should commit to not giving up on this journey. That's the most important thing. No matter what you feel about yourself, no matter what you think about yourself, commit to taking those actions that you are planning to take. Even if you succeed or fail, even if you're not good enough or you're good enough, even if people mock or don't mock, or support rather, irrespective of what is happening around you and what is happening inside you in terms of opinions. So, whether you're getting support or not, or whether you think good or not, no matter what, commit to taking those actions. Initially, this will feel hard. So, you can start with some simple actions. So if you don't feel if you don't feel confident at all about yourself, you doubt yourself a lot, and on day one you give yourself that much of a target, quickly you will prove to yourself that you're not good enough and you'll go back again. So for you to destroy this opinion on yourself, you need to take on small chunks to start with. So take on a small chunk and meaningfully accomplish it with commitment to pushing your limit. So every day push your limit a little bit, and as a result, start breaking these small chunks every day. And as you break these small chunks every day, your opinion about yourself will start changing. Okay. And you will finally understand that you shouldn't even have an opinion about yourself. You should just commit and keep going. I am committed should be the only opinion you should have about yourself. You should not have I can or I can't, because I already proved that both of them are lies, even if you have it. But I am committed can be an opinion that you can have on yourself for the rest of your life. And that's how you can do this hard journey of walking out of self doubt. And if any of your friends or loved ones are going through self doubt, please make sure not to drop a boatload of suggestions on them in the first place, because they're already unable to do even simple things in most cases. So, what you can do for them is give them some simple activities that they can meaningfully accomplish, and in that process, help them commit to actions that they can succeed at, and slowly transform their self doubt into commitment. As I'm saying, don't take self doubt into confidence, because self doubt and confidence is a circle. You go into confidence, you have to come into self doubt, because sometimes things won't work out. Okay, so don't go from self doubt to confidence, go from self doubt to commitment, and help your friend or loved one also go into that strength of commitment. And one even greater help that you can do for them is you can share this video with them so that they can watch this and understand this in full depth and come out of that self doubt crisis. So, the overall picture that I'm trying to give here today is that if you want to beat your self doubt, the best thing to do is, instead of thinking about yourself, think of a higher mission in life, a higher purpose in life, and commit yourself to that purpose in a very passionate way. Whether you succeed or not, whether you're good enough or not, whether other people are approving or not, you show up every day for this higher purpose, and that way you will make your life a meaningful journey. You will go beyond self, and you will commit yourself to something that is larger than yourself. So the best way to come out of self doubt thus is to commit yourself to something larger than yourself, and as a result, stop thinking about yourself. The more you think about yourself, the more self doubt you will generate. So stop this self obsession and be obsessed with a purpose and commit to it, and overcome your self doubt once and forever in your life. I wish you all the best in this hard journey. And should you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me in the comment section and ask your questions, or you can even mail me in my email address. Thank you so much. Signing off. You have a beautiful day.